You already feel it, don't you? That quiet rot beneath your thoughts. The subtle, polished lie you repeat every morning, like a prayer you no longer believe in. The one that tells you you're in control, that you truly understand yourself, that you're being honest about who you are, but you're not. And deep down, something ancient inside you knows it. It watches you perform this theater of self-deception, patient, cold, and unblinking, because truth doesn't rush. It stalks. In another city that smelled of rain and burned ambition, a man named Victor Hale built his reputation on precision. Sharp suits, sharper instincts. He was known for seeing through people like glass. But even predators develop blind spots when they start believing their own reflection. Victor's flaw was elegant in its simplicity. He never lied to others without first perfecting the lie inside himself. It began subtly, as it always does. Small distortions, quiet justifications. "I deserve this," he would murmur while taking what wasn't his. "I had no choice," he would insist while making calculated moves. "This is necessary," he would conclude while crossing lines that once deeply repulsed him. The language of self-deception is never chaotic. It is structured, deliberate, almost noble in tone, wrapped in moral vocabulary so it feels clean, justified, righteous. And that is the most dangerous lie of all. The one that dresses itself as virtue, while quietly dismantling your integrity, piece by piece. Victor didn't wake up one day as a fraud. He engineered himself into one, layer by layer, justification by justification, until the truth no longer had a voice loud enough to interrupt the story he had built. You think you're different? That you would notice? No. You would admire your own reasoning. You would defend it, sharpen it into a weapon against anyone who dares question you. That's how it works. That's how it always works. There was a woman named Elena Voss who saw him clearly, not because she was more intelligent, but because she had already dismantled her own illusions years earlier. She didn't confront him directly. That would have been naive. Instead, she asked simple, precise questions. "Why did you choose that?" she would ask, her tone neutral. Victor, confident in his internal narrative, would answer with polished certainty. But Elena wasn't listening to his words. She was listening to what he avoided. Silence is far more revealing than speech when someone is lying to themselves. The real problem isn't that you lie, it's that you curate your lies so carefully. They eventually become indistinguishable from your identity. You don't just tell the lie, you live inside it. You decorate it, you defend it, until you forget it was ever a construction. And once that happens, you become predictable, weak, exposed. Because reality does not negotiate with your narrative. It waits, it accumulates evidence. It sharpens its consequences. And when it finally breaks through, it doesn't ask for permission. Victor's collapse wasn't loud or dramatic. It was precise. A single decision, built on the assumption that he was in control, triggered a chain reaction he never saw coming. He trusted someone he thought he had manipulated, blind to the simplest truth. People are never as predictable as your lies need them to be. The betrayal wasn't loud. It was quiet, efficient, final. And in that moment, just for a fraction of a second, the illusion cracked. He saw what he had buried. He had never been in control. He had only been managing a story. Lying to others is a social risk. Lying to yourself is an existential one. Because once you disconnect your perception from reality, you lose the ability to make accurate decisions. And without accuracy, everything becomes a gamble, disguised as strategy. You call it instinct, you call it confidence, but it's neither. It's blindness with a convincing voice. The more you succeed while lying to yourself, the more dangerous it becomes. Success becomes false validation. Every outcome is twisted to fit your narrative, even when, especially when, it doesn't. You become addicted to your own interpretation of events. Self-deception is heavy. It requires constant maintenance, constant justification, constant reinterpretation of reality. It consumes your energy, your focus, your clarity. You become slower, less precise, more reactive, because you're no longer just dealing with reality. You're managing two realities at once. The irritation you feel when questioned is often the first honest signal that your illusion is under threat. By the time Victor realized the extent of his self-deception, it was no longer about correction. It was exposure, complete, merciless. Here is the choice most people refuse to make early enough. You can confront your lies while they are still small, still manageable, still reversible. Or you can perfect them until they become your identity and let reality dismantle them for you. One path is uncomfortable. The other is catastrophic. There is no third option. You cannot optimize for both truth and comfort at the same time. The discipline of radical self-honesty is not moral. It is strategic. It is brutal. It means treating your own thoughts with the same suspicion you apply to everyone else. Asking not, what do I want to be true, but what is true regardless of what I want, and then acting on it, even when it costs you, especially when it costs you. Because expensive truth is the only truth you can trust. Accuracy compounds, deception collapses. Self-deception always feels efficient in the short term, but it borrows heavily from the future. And reality always collects its debt with interest. In the end, there is only cause and effect. No decoration, no narrative, no mercy. If that sounds cold, good. Because truth is not here to comfort you. It is here to correct you. And correction is rarely gentle.